okay. And
I get a notification now.
oh
Wow.
yeah, you get a notification like disclaimer that you're being recorded, and yeah.
The All Things TechIE podcast is a product of the Extreme Media Network. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie. That's XTREME media.ie.
It's the All Things Techie podcast, episode 53. Yeah, we're like in our 50s now, you know. Not us.
I feel like it sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Well, like, you know, shall we just start on the whole topic, Simon, of being a daddy with like young kids? Yeah, Simon, what what age is Roisin? What age is Rebecca? And then what age is Ben? Ben's like 4 months now, and Rebecca's 6.
She's nearly 6. 6 in
Six.
less than a month.
Yeah, that's right. I should know this. I'm the godfather. I should know this.
We've been told. So at the moment, we're going through birthday presents, and what do we want? Who's coming to the party? What kind of party?
That's a terrible thing, Simon. Like, you know, like you have the Smiths catalogue that comes out just at Rebecca's birthday and at Christmas.
Oh, we circled it yesterday. We went through it yesterday, circling things. And then I went through it and circled what I wanted.
but what were you thinking? You know, what were you thinking? You know, like at least with Kieran and Rosie, you know, like, you know, I think I'm done now at this stage. I don't know what Jen liked me saying that to all our listeners, but like, God, I'm tired.
Yeah, no, it is tiring. But and then I'm always asked, okay, can I watch Netflix? Oh, can I watch Now TV? Can I watch YouTube Kids? So yeah, I've already learned some recommendations. I'm going to write a.
Here's 2 AV pros that will actually hand on heart admit that like we don't get to watch TV on our big 55 or 65 inch screens, you know, because it's literally YouTube Kids
or on my phone.
Or yeah,
if it's not on the TV, I don't. It's my phone.
Yeah, we have 5G phones, and guess what we use them for? Watching YouTube Kids.
And it's actually, I've just learned, keep the old phone, and that's now become the watching TV phone.
Yeah. Like, but yeah, actually, while on the topic of this, you know, like actually, this is one of the topics that I actually was going to bring up, is that Sky are getting rid of all their satellite dishes and just saying, oh, okay, well, we don't need to do satellite dishes, which actually is probably very environmentally friendly because all these satellite dishes are metal and junk.
And they're on every building. If you look
it's ugly.
Streets,
it's ugly. It's about the time we got rid of satellite dishes. Like, unless they're up in the sky. Imagine how much junk there's up in the sky. Anyways, but like, they're getting rid of them and going internet based. Like, so yeah, everything's going to be streaming.
Yeah, but it's this whole cut the cord. Like, if you go in the States, it's a massive thing. Like, most cable operators are probably gone at this point, and everyone's your Hulu, Peacock, Netflix. I can't even hear Paramount Plus, CBS
Disney.
Online, Disney Online. Come on. Like, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy says he has about 9 TV subscriptions plus his Spotify.
How many have you got? We better give out our contact details. It's up on our screen if you're watching us on YouTube. And please do subscribe on YouTube. It makes us feel nice and warm when you subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And you can visit us on our official website, www.allthingstech.ie. We have to congratulate Simon again. Woo! That's like, you know, he's been away, but like, he's being a daddy, you know, to 4-month-old baby boy, you know. Is he the apple of Daddy's eye, or is that still Rebecca?
Oh no, he's definitely Daddy's boy. Oh.
Yeah.
Like, come into the room and arms and legs are going in all directions, like with excitement.
Rebecca used to do that too. Actually, Rebecca still does that. Yeah, Daddy. You know, we're the good cops of the relationship. You know, yeah. But yes, so. We were just, if you want to get in contact with us, it's the All Things Techie podcast, or www.allthingstech.ie. Simon's at Simon Lang AV. I'm at Justin or Dawson, and you can find that all out. Or you can actually use our official Twitter handle, which is AB Tech Junkies, and all the details is popping up on the screen if you're watching us on YouTube. And please press that subscribe button. It makes us feel lovely and warm that people are actually listening to our ramblings about tech and audiovisual. But yeah, with Sky doing that, Simon, does that just open up the whole world more of like just dodgy streaming? Like I hand on heart, remember the days where, okay, let's date this program a bit and show our age. But I remember there was a satellite shop that was on my family home street in South Dublin, where people would queue around the corners, and like literally the guy was literally taking the Sky card. Remember, you used to have the Sky cards in the encoder boxes, and he was just going boop 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 boop, and charging each one of them maybe £10 a pop, and just reprogramming the Sky cards. Then we had the little encoder boxes that used to decrypt the signal, and then Sky brought out Niagara 3 or Niagara 4, which like encrypted the signal every like millisecond. So that was the end of that.
Because I wouldn't have been a Sky person. I would have been on the other side, which was the cable UPC or
you just used to take your TV cable, plug it into the back of this dodgy box, and bing, you had all your
movie channels.
I can't remember. Did it have a card? It might have had a card, or if not, it was just decoding it. To the stage now where like people are getting their streams via dodgy streams on premium versions, where it costs them $50 or $60 a year.
IP providers, an app on your TV.
Yep.
And there you go. You got them pay for the year.
So how do they crack down on this, or can they?
There's always going to be something. The minute they do something, someone will counter it. Yeah. And I think it's just going to be a constant battle for that. But like when you're talking about this, like Sky going to online and getting rid of the dishes, they kind of already have been doing it through Now TV, which is what we have here.
Absolutely.
So you pay a monthly instead of having a 24-month contract. We have a monthly.
But
contract.
I think that's the way like people have to, and all these TV providers have to cop on and just go, no, people don't want to be in long-term contracts anymore. Like I go from TV to mobile phone. Like I updated to 5G mobile phone. It cost me €400. People will, the telephone companies will still try and lock you into, oh, do you want a free phone? Yeah. No,
that's what I did.
24 months, right? 24 months, and you're being charged sometimes. Oh yeah, do you want all you can eat data and calls? And then like all of a sudden you realize your tariff per month is €60 a month. You paid the phone nearly 5 times over. Yeah, like the beautiful thing is, I'll admit I'm with Virgin Mobile. My bill is €20 a month, and I have all you can eat data. So
I was listening to a podcast today of someone in the States, and I think it's Verizon. But I think Verizon has done away with phone upgrade deals. They don't, and they're a major operator.
Rightly so.
A major operator. So I think it seems to be a thing that's coming, that eventually people will just cheaper rates of your bands or tariffs, and you just buy your own phone from Amazon or wherever you want to buy it from. And I think it's probably going to go that way eventually, because really here in Ireland there's only Vodafone and Three. And maybe Tesco are the only ones.
Yeah,
that have phones locking.
Do you know what? I'm gonna just badmouth Three now. Sorry, I'm gonna badmouth Three. Three, you deserve to be badmouthed for this. I got my wife out of her contract last month, Jen, and I literally brought her over to Virgin Mobile. €5 for the first 6 months, 25 thereafter. All you can eat. I think it works off the Three network. Okay, right, fine, it works off the Three network, but why isn't Three offering the same type of deals like this? Okay, so got her. She took my old SIM-free phone, so I was able to just buy the SIM and just stick it in. But then I get notification after I switched her away from Three to Virgin Mobile that, oh, you owe us a bill. I couldn't log into her online account because I had switched away. So I get on the online chat. It takes me 14 minutes to get through to an agent, and another 20 minutes of the agent trying to get the account details. And did I know how much? So I gave the normal GDPR security questions. And then he starts asking me like, oh, do you know how much your last bill was? It's like, but I've given you my wife's name, address, date of birth, and you still want to know like what a last bill is for security purposes. It's like, and I'm trying to give you money. I'm trying to pay the last bill so we are even and quits, and I can leave you alone and I can go over to the next network. And they said, oh, you just want to pay a bill? Well, you could just ring this number. It's like, why didn't you tell me that? And why is it not on your site nearly 15 minutes ago? It's why, like, I don't understand. Like, they're great at sales, but some of these phone support companies,
because customer support can be awful. Yeah. People are looking for quick and fast solutions, not waiting 40 minutes for even a person to connect.
I find, to be quite honest, that I really love the whole aspect of Virgin Mobile use WhatsApp. WhatsApp, you can literally send a message, leave it alone, go off and do something else, and come back, and the agent has answered you. And then you can go, like, maybe, and usually when the agent answers you and you respond, they're there quite quickly. Or if it takes some time, if you're busy with work, you can just communicate with them with WhatsApp until the ticket is finished and they've solved your problem. I can't think of any other phone company that actually uses WhatsApp to do it, and I really think that is the way forward, like to do the customer support. I think it's fantastic.
It's modern and it's quick. Like, I've seen some sites use Messenger, which is the Facebook one. But I haven't heard of any phone companies using it. Yeah.
No, well, a lot of them use the social media outlets, and then you have the Twitter. You have to complain on the main feed before they go, oh, like, if you have a problem, like, please direct message us. And until you start shouting that, they go, oh, please direct message us, and we'll look into this for you. And that customers shouldn't have to do that. Like, if you look at 90% of these social media outlets for Vodafone, Virgin Mobile, Three, they're all 90% of them is complaints. You don't really see customers coming online and saying anything good on social media about the phone companies.
Yeah.
Or even or any of your electricity or gas providers. They don't really be saying positive things.
Oh yeah, like, thanks for all that electricity you're giving me at such a cheap price, or whatever.
Well, look, we're going up. Yeah, I'm going to plug that. Like, do read my next article in the Higher Ed AV magazine, because I'm going to be talking about, campus life. Should it be live in person? Should it be online? And I say no, it should be hybrid, and explain what the real world of hybrid is, and why after 18 months, nearly 19 months before when we're now returning to campus, why has not all the universities in Ireland started going hybrid? And it
gives the student the choice to turn up in person or stay at home.
Yeah, I can't understand why it's not there. I really can't. We've had 18. Now, look, Simon, you're back out physically around installing and looking at buildings.
Still weird.
Have you noticed the traffic get busier? Is everyone back in the office?
Yeah. No, I think so. I was at a client this week, and they basically are up to 25%. And by Christmas, they're going to be 50%. And they reckon by mid next year, they're going to hit 75% capacity in the office. And it will never go beyond that again. Never
beyond 75, right? That's interesting.
So they believe that it's there is going to be a kind of a hybrid life, and I think that's becoming the norm, even in tenders and in projects and stuff that we're seeing. That it is seems to be this hybrid approach. Then you think of companies like we had a big announcement this week. PwC in the US have said a large number of their staff can be at remote or in a high for the rest of their life.
And I think it's only fair. Like, trust your employee. You've asked them to work from home for the past 18 months. Why should they have to go back onto...
And productivity hasn't dropped. Productivity has actually gone up.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in most cases...
I get it. Like, some days, we're both parents of young kids. Some days, and my wife, Jen, has said, are you going onto campus today? Why? Because I want rid of you. I don't know that has Anne done that to you, Simon, yet. No. Come back. Mind. Change the snappy. No, it's yeah.
I think there's a balance. There's days I got to say I feel I need that social interaction a bit more. But it's not even a social, it's just connection with other people and conversations that you're trying to bash out a solution to a problem.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to do that physically.
Just be in the same room. And we've had that where they've kind of just gone in and I say it's like a royal we in my case, because I'm usually not the one of the people going in, but they've gone in and it's like just sit around the table and just go, will this work? And as well as it can work over a Teams call, sometimes it's just easier in person.
Well, I never forget my colleague Patrick, who I work with, trying to demonstrate like a virtual event software through a virtual event platform. So using Zoom to demonstrate other virtual event platforms before Zoom events came out in the last quarter. So it was a nightmare because we're trying to remote, and it's because people weren't on campus yet. That it was a nightmare trying to display this through one virtual software to another and just go. And
trying to do is like we're going to demo some presentation software through presentation software.
Yeah, it really didn't work. So I
think as a whole, most companies are not going to go back to full 100% capacity. I think a lot of companies are just going to be in the 50 to 70, maybe 80%.
But then there's a lot of companies. Like I know one neighbor who works for a company, and they were told, "Oh, you can work from home for the next 24 months." And now it's sort of turning around and going, okay, well, the restrictions are in 24 months, so we can want you back on site. And by the way, we've moved our building to, she's living in North Dublin where I am, and her business has now gone to far South Dublin. So she has a good hour and a half commute each morning. Now, currently, they're asking for 2 days a week, but she has the fear that this is going to increase. Has there been companies that promised the online approach and now changing their mind and doing a whole boomerang effect? And
I think Google even a bit like that. Wasn't there a whole thing about Google people having to go back on site as well? And they were trying to, because those companies are set up for keeping you in the building. When you think about it, where they provide all the services and the social stuff and everything in the building. So the fact you're not in the building, are they finding a disconnect? I don't know. But I know, like, in the sense of the company I work for, their people are no longer in the Dublin commuter belt. Like, people are like down in the regions,
and this is it.
They're not going to come back to the office unless they have to every day. They're not going to make that, because
I know someone that's moved up to Donegal as an accountant and was working remotely for the past 18 months, and and we'll put up some of the information in our show notes. There is a big turnaround and people leaving their jobs for this reason. There is the big call of going, okay, there's the COVID contemplation. I switched my job during COVID. You
did.
switched your job during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. To like, and then you just go afterwards. Like people, it gave people time to think of job satisfaction versus life and so forth. We must, before we go on, I'm going to play a little video in the middle of this, and this is from Foils, Arms, and Hog. Do you ever watch
Yes.
Have you seen that video of them going back into the workplace? Yes.
I don't remember, but I'm told about them all the time. So yeah, because they're very popular here at home.
Yeah, they're the one. I'll play it.
Okay, well, it's just gone 10 there now, Kevin. Will we kick off the meeting?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me all right?
Yes?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So, I was looking at the marketing strategy globally for the digital products of... Is everything okay?
Yeah, all good my end.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying that the strategy we have at the moment is not as aggressive as it should be. I have a simple... Is there a problem, Kevin?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's just you made a face when I was talking there.
Oh, God, you can see me.
Yes.
Sorry, I normally have the camera off for these meetings.
We're in the same room.
Oh, sorry, yeah, just getting used to being back in the office.
Okay.
Sorry I'm late. Wi-Fi issues, you know yourself.
John, you're still in your dressing gown.
Oh, sorry, I'm still getting used to not working from home.
Suit and tie, John. In the workplace. Very basic stuff. Right, we're just going to restart the meeting. So I was explaining to Kevin about the marketing strategy. Now,
Here he goes again.
we should definitely be in a way... Is there something wrong, John? You said boring. As I was talking there, you said boring.
Yes, because I normally have my microphone off for these type of meetings.
Do you? Okay, we're just going to push on. Why don't we have a look at the daily account? Kevin, can you open page 3, shipping and invoices, please?
Yeah, I have that open, looking at it now.
But you've got nothing in front of you.
Oh, yeah, the attachment with the email didn't send, I don't think.
I gave it to you in person 20 minutes ago.
I'll get on to IT.
And where's Tom? The meeting started 10 minutes ago.
He's just out there.
Yeah, he's been there for ages.
What's he doing out there?
We have to let him into the meeting.
Yeah, you're the host.
Okay. Kevin, you can't eat cereal in here.
Right, I forgot.
John,
Yeah.
what the hell do you think you're doing?
Oh, sorry.
You're not at home anymore, right? This is a place of work, and a certain amount of professionalism is...
You keep your hand with the kids most. I'm doing all
I'm
day
in a
with them.
meeting.
Oh, hi Ted, how are you? I'm still recovering after that night out with Deirdre 6 weeks ago. We must have you over for dinner. We'd love that's the dogs. They're running wild around here today. Hang on.
Okay, why don't we just wrap it up there for today, okay? We'll pick the meeting up tomorrow when we're feeling a little fresher and wearing appropriate clothing.
So will you end the meeting or will I?
The meeting's finished.
I can end the meeting for everyone.
Yeah, whatever.
So it's over.
Yes, I've signed out.
Okay, great. Bye. What a load of shit.
I'm gonna take the rest of the day off.
Guys!
Oh, God, no, we're stuck in here till 5.
Because then the other side of it, I've heard of the conversation is there's people who are been struggling at home and they're like two people fighting for each end of the kitchen table because they're in a small apartment trying to work and have private work conversations, even though it's your partner or your spouse.
Well, my wife has said the exact same thing. Now, a good majority of the time I could be recording or I could be supporting virtual events, so my microphone is muted. But my wife is very conscious of the fact that I work upstairs and trying to keep the kids quiet downstairs while I'm working upstairs, which does and doesn't work, you know, so...
But I think I know at least there's been a cultural shift that kids and animals and people interrupting calls it's becoming acceptable.
Yeah,
that's just part of life now.
I think it's like if we're physically back in buildings, we should have like bring your pets and bring your kids to work days more than yeah.
Definitely, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Now, who? Okay, here's the question: who would you rather bring? Would you rather bring Rebecca into work with you, or would you rather bring Ben into work with you?
Now, difference between a baby and a small girl, I think she'd be bored after a while. So,
whereas Ben would just fall asleep on your lap and then the cuddles.
So.
Yeah. Well, I know Roisin loves to come up the stairs at the moment in her 1.5 to nearly 2 and 2 months time, and 1 month's time as well, and literally just come in and go, "Daddy," you know, and like everyone goes, "Oh, who's the little girl?" And because I'm wearing the headphones and using the microphone in front of me, you know, she sort of grabs the mic and starts playing with it and moving it around, but like no one else, she can't hear anyone else. I stuck the headphones on her today and she just froze, just went, how, who's this person? Where are they? Yeah. So, okay, what broke the internet last week, Simon?
Well, I don't know what happened because there was no Facebook, no WhatsApp, no Instagram. This is all the people out there taking their selfies on pictures of their dinners must have just
But
had a
Twitter
nightmare.
was working. That was amazing, and I loved the quote saying, "Well, at least YouTube Kids is still operating." You know, God forbid if YouTube Kids went down at the same time. But like it felt. Do you know what? It felt that my Virgin Mobile and my Vodafone, like I've dual SIMs in. I couldn't get internet connection on either of my or data connection on either out here in Lusk. It was a crawl.
It seemed to come down whatever was going on. Like I got to say, I'm not getting many phone calls, so it doesn't really bother me too much. And it's like, and I didn't hear Virgin Media wasn't affected in terms of internet.
Yeah,
because that was still working here at home.
It was so weird, but I switched Jen over to Virgin Mobile, yet I could not get any data coming through my phone, or couldn't hotspot it or anything. And Jen just went, "Oh, it just seems mine," and she was able to get it. I was like, "I have dual SIMs in my phone. How come you're getting internet and I'm not?"
I should be getting something on one of them at least.
One of them, yeah. But do you believe, like, okay, Facebook have come out and said, "Oh, our backbone went down and it was a bit of a coding problem that ran through the DNSs," and I hate to be that person who actually acted. I read a good article of how it was described that you are opening the keys to the door and then the door moves and then vanishes, and then you can't remotely find where that door has actually disappeared to. That's pretty much what happened because the whole backbone of it went down. Now, do we believe that?
Possible.
Or was it a hack?
I think I think someone would have to be seriously good to hack Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram. I think to bring all of them down, I think I would actually really trust there was a human error of something done or an update that was not right. But even with redundancy around the world, there must have been a major part of the backbone affected. When you think about it, often your Facebook account is on a server here.
Well, we know from working in big financial firms, and we know from you always have a redundancy of if one goes down, you can, and it's absolutely 100% duplicated, or maybe 98% duplicated, that you can flick a switch and you can bring up the other server. How come it took Facebook so long?
I don't know. It must have been like, because I know like what the article talks about, the routing table.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, okay, that's the table of how you find Facebook and stuff like that. And it's I don't know, like if you can't find, if all of a sudden Facebook disappeared in the morning, what would happen? I'd like imagine WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram, Google all being out. Like, think about what's left.
Yeah.
There's not very much left.
Was that the reason that like Vodafone and all the mobile companies just grind to a halt? Was people sending SMS messages again? Were they actually picking up the phone and physically ringing people? Like, how heavily do we rely on the likes of WhatsApp to send messages, to send videos, to send audio messages?
Yeah.
Without actually physically ringing someone.
But I'd be curious, like, so I wouldn't say I'm a high user of all those. I look at them, but I'm not a mass. But I'd love to be somewhere like, say, a student campus when that went down, or somewhere where they really rely on those applications.
You know what? Like, I love to see at times the traffic that goes through some of these places. I know at the beginning of COVID, We had Joe over in the States, and we had a couple of other people on that. I'll have to pull out the episode number, but like that gave us reports of like just literally how many Zoom calls were going on from his campus that day, and like their servers able to handle it.
The amount of internet traffic, the amount of video calling, all that time just when COVID kind of hit, just went up, 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 and it's amazing. Like you think about the internet was still able to handle it, and we probably haven't gone down too much. Like that level's probably gone up and stayed.
There has been reports that as soon as Facebook got hacked or Facebook went down, there was people saying, "Oh, I've got like this many accounts on the dark web. Please pay me now." You say to yourself, some hacker that says I have 5,000 or 10,000 accounts on the dark web and all this data. Well, there's a lot of redundant Facebook accounts on the internet. Like, I don't know, have you ever played around with the website haveibeenporned.com or porn.com? Again, stick up the link in the show notes, but you can literally type in your email address and see has been
sold or
has any of your data been set. I have too many email addresses, but I typed in some of my old ones. I noticed that that it has been one of my email addresses was attacked and subject to data things with regards to a couple of years ago Netflix being attacked and Facebook being attacked, and I think a couple of LinkedIn at one stage being attacked. But you know what? I think it's the type of information. Look, I noticed that ever since putting the SIM cards into my dual phone, that you can still get all those junk. I've got to the stage of going, if I don't recognize the phone number, I don't answer on my mobile.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm getting like 2 or 3 a day at this point.
But like, you really question, like, and again, this is a sort of Irish for any of our international listeners. They are taking some of the phone numbers and making them Dublin phone numbers, and even making them landline phone numbers that are masked as Garda or police force phone numbers. How is the Gardaí
really
not
sophisticated,
jumping up and down and going, we have to do something about this? And I never would claim to be a networking expert, but surely they can cut out this if they just kept the network or the back end local, you would think.
I don't know how it happened. Like it seems to have spiraled from this HSE attack that was a couple of months ago at this point, where a lot of data was got, but I don't know if that's where it's come from, or like in the sense of like my work phone number is not like it's on the company website, but like if anyone gets forward your mail, it could get into the wrong hands. But it's not like I splash my personal one around the place.
Yeah.
So you do wonder, it is interesting. Or is it just simple a lottery where they literally dial everything from 00001 all the way up?
Like, and I say that's the way it does it, but how they can mask it as a landline that is an Irish number, like Irish Guards or something like that, is crazy.
And the numbers, when you answer it, it's someone in Chinese or something speaking to you.
Or an automated message to call us back. I'm going to share this link with you. I thought this was pretty cool. This is Amazon Glow. It's a video chat gadget built with built-in games for kids. I like this. It's sort of like that, but is it copying the Facebook portal a bit?
Okay.
Amazon has never shied away from making strange gadgets that require a bit of explanation, but the new Amazon Glow might take the prize for the strangest in several years. It's a video conferencing device that also has a tabletop projector built into it. So
this is cool.
Yeah, interesting.
$299.
$299. What's the purpose of the projector?
Is it actually catching hand movements? You know, like it looks so when you look at it, is it the person kind of like the equivalent of? Do you ever remember there was like the infrared keyboard
Yeah,
or
it looks like
that
that.
kind of thing? And um,
Hey,
what's wrong?
if it teaches kids to read, and it looks like that's the whole process, a bit of a mix of physical paper and projector pointing down. So it's sort of like doing the opposite of a data projector, and it's actually taking the image and bringing it back in. Interesting concept.
Yeah, that they're actually promoting it not just as a school thing. They're promoting it as a family social interaction thing between grandparents and kids and stuff like that, as well. So and you can play games and stuff on it, and so it's interesting idea. Like it looks a bit weird of a box, but it's still kind of cool. You know,
There's so many new phones coming out. The Pixel phone can now automatically record and upload in a video in an emergency. The new Pixel phones from Google. That's interesting. I thought that was pretty cool. But with trade shows opening again, Simon, you just sent me a message earlier on that ISE is open again.
yeah, I registered for this morning for next year in Barcelona.
Now, here's a question: how expensive is Barcelona going to be, and are you going to attend? That's February. Like no, it's done. It's
not that far away, but I think I probably would.
Yeah,
I think the access to the tech is harder online. I think we need to actually get and physically twist it, turn it.
We do.
I'd be like they're going to have to come up with some ways of keeping it sanitized and clean and all like that.
It's interesting though, like watching a lot of the AV tweets online, and it seems that even though Infocom is in a couple of weeks' time, it seems that a good few people are still holding off and just saying, "No, I'll wait till 2022." Yeah,
I think it seems to be. I think everyone's nearly like going, "This Christmas is the last," and then it's kind of normalizing from then onwards to going back to shows and stuff like that. I've seen micro shows appear where I guess they're controlling the numbers going in, that you've a time
there's been
slot.
a lot over in England.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of small little shows. Like even I noticed that there was the UC 2021 there. There's the AV Awards that's happening next month as well. Chris and Tim are going over to that. There's the
There's been quite a few digital signage ones.
There's been a couple of digital signage ones, but I noticed like there's been for the types of user collaboration and stuff like that some of these people like D10 have been in 2 or 3 places that have had trade events at the same time in the space of a week. So yeah, but
I did notice something on the ISE registration. I thought it was interesting that it says there is no paper badges. Your badge is a digital on your phone or the ISE app, which will be coming out next year. So
which I think it is better. Yeah,
interesting. You walk around and everyone looks at your badge, so they know who you are when you turn up. So it will be interesting to see how that's going to work.
Well, that as well of like how are they going to physically get you to the days of ISE where you're wearing a lanyard and everyone scans your lanyard, trying to give you to send you or try and sell a lot of things to you.
Yeah. So now you're in control of that.
Well, you know what? I think it should be a bit more of an opt-in type of approach. That if it's again going with hybrid type of trade show affairs, that I'm working in higher ed, I want to hear from the following companies, and it should be an opt-in rather than people scanning your badge everywhere you go, trying to.
Yeah, you stand still in front of our booth. Thank you. Scan.
Yeah.
shows are starting to come back.
Well,
in
you know what?
person
Like,
stuff.
I think, like again, so I'm like we have Bluetooth enabled devices. That surely that if you walked into a booth and stuff, that it should be able to pick up that you've been in this booth and send you request to send information that way as well.
Or is it going to be like, okay, if you want info, you have to show up that QR code on your
Do you
phone?
know where I was? Where I know this is sort of going off point, but had amazing tech that I know it's been in existence for a while, and Amazon shops, like physical Amazon shops, used to have the whole idea of that. Like, I pick up a pint of beer and I walk out the door, and it knows that I picked up a pint of beer out of the.
They're going.
fridge.
They're in London now as well.
But have you been to Decathlon here in Dublin?
No.
I walked it, like I was looking for what was the main, oh yeah, tent pegs, because I was trying to peg down my son's trampoline in the back garden, because I noticed that a good gust of wind will send this trampoline over the wall and into the neighbour's garden. So I got some, but Decathlon has everything. I know it's a UK type of base of store, but I got to the checkout and the one said, "Oh, yeah, you can take till number 4 there." I was like, so I actually turned around and said, "Sorry, where's the scanner? Like the barcode scanner?" You just dropped them into the basket, and it knew that, like, I dropped in a t-shirt, I dropped in a hoodie, I dropped in the tent peg. I was like, how does it know the exact size? Like, and you sort of wanted dropping them in slow, going, t-shirt, okay, right. I thought that was fantastic.
But it's interesting because it's not quite related. But when you go to the library here now, when you're borrowing your books, you literally scan your library card and you load your pile of books onto a reader, and it just reads the whole pile of books and then goes, "You have all these books, done, thump," and you walk out. That's your books checked out.
Yeah,
and that's RFID.
Yeah.
But still, it's like,
well, and that's it. I think they have to use the likes of RFID and Bluetooth over an ISE.
Now, I think, and it's a great show of the tech.
Yeah, I just hope it comes back and there is some parties again. I see Chuck is trying to do AV Roki over at Infocom again. I just hope the numbers are there again and people aren't holding off too much for 2022. I know LTSMG is online, LTSMG at home. That's happening next month. SCOMS again was virtual, but yeah, and then you just go, right, well, are people going to hold off from ISE and wait for Infocom in Vegas, or will they actually attend ISE?
Yeah, I think as countries seem to be opening up, and the level of vaccination compared to, say, February or June when they moved it twice this year to February next year is going to be a massive difference. So I think a lot more people are going to travel.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
Over Christmas or over the winter months.
Yeah, I think people had a bit of fear last year, and they can't do it the second year in a row. Like, we stayed at home for Christmas last year, and then the lockdown hit, and then you just say, do we really want to stay at home this year, or go out?
And that's it. And I think that's going to be a bit like that with ISE. Like, if you don't have to isolate, if you don't have to any of that stuff, people will travel when they have to go and when they come back. But if you have to isolate, that's going to be a determining factor.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. Shortage of equipment. Now, that's the other thing I think about Infocom in a few months' time, or not even a few months' time, in a couple of weeks' time. It's like, I think a lot of things are going to be demoed, but if people wanted to buy things, it's not there. You told me that the latest one is shortage of HDMI cables.
There just seems to be general shortage of, because HDMI cables now seem to have chips in them.
Yeah,
and they're just getting there's shortage of them, but like suppliers are offering dates in early 2022 for
Now,
product.
I'm not going to call out any AV company or anything like that, but I still believe there's a bit of favoritism of customer bias towards by AV companies that will go, oh, this is a financial firm versus this is, and oh, we actually, if we can get in this product, we know that we can get more money off this financial firm than we can get off a higher ed institution. I think the waiting list sometimes is longer and we're pushed down the pecking order for the larger companies.
I don't know about that bit, but
And
I can
I'm not aimed
I
at
can
any
understand
AV
it.
company, but yeah, I can understand it. But it definitely still
understand it.
exists. Like supply and demand. Can we get? Is it right? No, but if the company thinks I can get more money from a private institution versus a public sector institution, of course they're going to do it.
And in most cases, projects are based on the deadlines. And I think in a lot of, I've seen anyway, I think a lot of education related installs were planned
Oh, the whole
for summer.
lastminute.com. Don't look,
Yeah.
like, because the budgets come in at a certain time during the year, and all of a sudden that it goes through so many management loopholes, and they might put a request in for new equipment in August that they want delivered by September. And you get global shortages. That's the way. It doesn't actually happen that way,
Because that was something that was like a kind of a side conversation one day, was why does education always wait to late July, August to plan upgrades, where they should be planning them back in April and May, so that when colleges finish in late May, June, that's when the work starts. And it's just one of those random industry things. I don't know why. It just seems to. I don't.
Have you seen it pick up more? Like, I know I'm not trying to aim this at your company, but I think there is a bigger pickup of education doing things now post-COVID, just realizing, oh shit, we should have done this years ago.
Or done it during COVID when it was when everyone was at home and the rooms are free.
But I say there is a bigger push by higher ed vertical to actually get with the times and get with technology than what was pre-COVID.
When you hear of some of the major universities in the UK have gone completely virtual, and now their students are anywhere in the world, it's now a competition to the Irish-based universities that you could have a qualification from Oxford or Cambridge.
They can offer so much more. Okay, here we go, Simon. I must ask this question then. You mentioned the Smiths catalogue earlier on.
Yes.
What tech toys would you like for Christmas?
I actually haven't even thought about me for tech toys. It's kind of going, what do I need to make my office life? You have a new
4-month-old son. You're just glowing on the fact that, like, I can buy things and say, like, it's for Ben rather than it's for me. Like, I like the look of these baby toys. I want to play with them.
Because I haven't even thought about like it's so funny. I'm looking here to my side, my other screen, and I have the website open, and there's a picture of a Surface Tab. And I got to say, or a Surface Go 3 is actually what.
I'm actually looking at the new Surface.
I would think I'd love to see how, because I know if they're used by some people in my company. So, I wouldn't mind having one to play with, just to try. If you go to a site, is it easier for commissioning and all that stuff to gather that information while you with it? And it's just gimmick.
It's these devices going to be available. Like, okay, we talk about shortage.
Okay.
And then there's shortage, and there's the Apple / Microsoft / Sony. And I'm going to throw Sony in there because I'm talking about gaming consoles, Microsoft with game consoles. But even before COVID, I always thought this whole idea of supply and demand, especially when on the run up to Christmas, where it's like, oh, we have a new product. Oh, but there's only like 500 being delivered to every store across the world, and people will rush out and queue up because they think there's a shortage.
Which
Now,
is a very good marketing ploy.
Very good marketing ploy, but there is a shortage. There is a global shortage now. But do you think there's still a bit of clever marketing when it comes to, like, for example, like Smith's, Ireland's toy store here, they seem to have been getting the new PlayStation, maybe 5 one.
26, 27 is it? PlayStation? I don't even know what number it's on at this point.
Yeah, but like they seem like, oh, we only are getting 100 into the store, so people rush off and get them. Now, is there a shortage of these consoles really, or is it COVID? Who knows? Yeah.
And that's just it. And I think the supply, the chips, and the supply and demand, and the catch up with the stock, and all that stuff is just all hitting at the same time. And we're using chips in absolutely everything now. Like, I've heard of chips in electric toothbrushes. I've heard of in just like so random things that you go, why would you have a chip in that? And all of a sudden they're not being able to supply it. So I don't know. I know from a work perspective, we've been definitely hit.
I've been looking at like the graphics on the PlayStations, on the Xbox, and go, I would like one of them. And then like, I don't have time to be a gamer anymore.
No.
I
play about 2 games on my phone, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I'm doing at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night when I'm waiting on a baby to sleep. So
you're not even clicking around social media anymore, or reading up on posts or anything like that? No.
Very little.
Would you if you had a laptop, would you play around with putting Windows 11 on it yet?
I was considering it. I actually have one, but the problem is the laptop is so small memory, you can't even take the latest Windows 10 upgrade.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's definitely not going to take the Windows 11.
Here's one that was interesting. The Microsoft have come out, and I'll put this up on the show notes as well. The Ocean plastic mouse is an eco-friendly accessory. Instead of mice that are plastic that are getting thrown out, we talk about chips. Well, the only thing that's in a mouse now is a laser, and if the laser goes, which very rarely does,
and a wireless transmitter.
But apparently, like, it's plastic again, so they're making ones that are eco-friendly. Ocean plastic mouse by Microsoft.
Hopefully they're not dissolvable by water if someone spilled a glass of water on the desk.
I never actually thought about that, but now that you mention it, yeah, it could, yeah. But I still can't get over the prices of like some of the Mac products. I got Jen a new iPad 12-inch, iPad Pro 12-inch, yeah.
I wouldn't mind one of those just to play.
And it has a pen. The pen, €150. I said, you better hide this pen because we have babies in the house that like to chew things. If it gets damaged, you're replacing it.
Because I've okay, so this is another tangent for a second on that.
Yeah.
There's a guy who I follow on podcasts, and he does religious imagery. And he draws on his iPad and creates drawings for cups and paintings and pictures and all this kind of stuff. But I actually would never have thought of the iPad as in a sense of your canvas and the pen.
And that's pretty much what Jen got it for, yeah.
And I'm just like, I would love to see how good it is. Like, how accurate. To play with.
Because I got Procreate on the thing, which is $10, which is, you can use the Adobe products as well, and Photoshop and everything like that, and go down that rabbit hole. But like the pen, I was playing around with Procreate, and you could do different brush strokes, and you can have the thinnest of pen, and you could be doing the sketching and everything. Yeah, very impressive. But again, these iPads and my MacBook Air that I got for work has the M1 chip, which I just realized has a lot of big problems of being able to dual screen. And it's not the docking stations, it's the actual M1 chip. I don't understand why.
Is the M1 chip the first Apple, because they were Intel until recently, is that the first chip made by Apple? Is that what?
It could be.
I'm not an Apple person, so
And that could be the reason. That could be the reason. Yeah, but like it's one of these times where you just go, it's your own hardware, so get your software to work with your hardware. Yeah, I can't understand why it doesn't.
yeah, because I've often looked at the refurbished Apple stuff just so I could learn how to use it. Because I kind of you get fed up looking at Windows, you know how it works.
Yeah,
you learn something new.
Yeah, well, that's it. So have you haven't really, apart from the Surface, you haven't really thought about tech toys or anything that you want?
No, like as I said, we were talking about new phones. I got a new phone about 2 weeks ago as well. So I think that is my tech toy really to play with. There's nothing I need for work. I got 2 monitors. I don't really know what else I need for work to make my work more fun. Like if you ask me, I was joking on a recent call with Crestron. I was saying I'd love they have a new Teams desk phone, which is a Teams call with a phone and all like that, but it's like basically a tablet. I'd love one of those to play with.
You know what? I was looking at some new kit came in to work, and we have the new D10 Mates and Goes. So the Go is literally half the size of, like, about twice the size and width of a normal Logitech webcam, and the quality is unbelievable. But then you compare that to the old Crestron sound bars and video bars that you used to get underneath a big 55-inch monitor, and you just go, wow, the technology has got smaller and neater, that you could stick this on. And they're not expensive, because like if you have the TV, you just literally plug and play this device into it, and you have your Zoom room.
Because I seen on a call the other day, who else? Jabra have a new soundbar out, and it does a 180-degree video.
Wow.
I think it has 3 cameras on the front of it, and that looks really cool. And then Logitech still have their Rally bar, which is really cool as well. So there's a few of those out there, and they're really good, and the technology's coming on, and Hudley seem to get their names seems to be appearing everywhere. That there's loads of products with the Hudley camera being built in.
Cameras are neat cameras. Yeah. I like it's like a small.
They seem to have gone into a lot of partnerships with different manufacturers, and they're in building the Hudleys into the hardware. Or they're using, or Sony have a few like that as well. I think they seem to be using Sony camera chips into this stuff. So it's just, there's a lot of interest. That's what I'm going to get, because Infocom in the States will bring out some new tech. So probably, if we have another call after Infocom, you'd be surprised what other tech has just appeared for 2020.
I can't remember, did I read whether CES was being fully virtual again next year?
I think it's virtual. I think so. Yeah, I didn't hear, but things are changing so quickly.
Yeah,
so
they might change their mind on that. Yeah. So where are we going to stay in Barcelona when we go to ISE?
I don't know. I haven't even looked it up. I did see the usual. They have these travel deals, and you can get discounts in your flights and stuff like that. But saying that, last time I was at an ISE, I was with my last company. So this is the first time if I can get to go, would be with my new company. So
will you go for longer than just 2 days then? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying if I could, I would, but depends at home.
Yeah, you're just admit it, Simon. You're just going to ISE to sleep.
Because you're so tired after all the walking when we were in Amsterdam. Imagine how tired you're going to be after Barcelona.
Well, no, I'm just thinking of like a night away from like Ben waking up every 2 hours.
Yeah.
That sleep is good. Yeah, we just need a day of just like sleeping. Yeah.
Yep. In a bed that's twice the size that it is at the moment.
You're still getting kicked out of the bed then, are you? Yeah. Okay, I think we've covered everything. We kind
of, but I think there's lots of random things versus.
Yeah, but don't forget, if you want to get in contact with the program, I hope you bought your lotto ticket tonight, Simon. There's my winning lotto ticket. 19 million. 19 million. We might have brand new studios by the time we win the lotto. And we won't be just going to ISE, we'll be owning ISE. Well, maybe the ISE is a bit more expensive than 19 million.
Yeah.
Are you following the football? Are you seeing that the fact that like Newcastle has pretty much been bought over by the biggest, about 20 times more richer than Man City now at the moment?
No, but I used to be a Newcastle supporter years back.
Yeah.
So no, I've moved on. I'm no longer into soccer. Formula One is my thing at the moment.
Really? Formula One?
Formula One and ice hockey. So
Yeah.
but yeah, Formula One is the tech and form. I was watching actually just before this call. I was watching a video on the tech in Formula One cars, and I'm just like,
there's a whole thing on Netflix
wow.
about that, I think.
Oh yeah, there's the TV. That's what got me back into it. So I used to watch it a lot years ago, and then I watched those recent. It was about a couple of months ago. So at the beginning of this season, I kind of got back into it.
Well, don't forget, if you want to get in touch with, it's been pretty much a very much on the fly episode of the All Things TechIE podcast, catching up with Simon because like we're just so uber busy, with bits and pieces that's going on. I think Simon has that many projects that he just doesn't even know like when he can stop and take a break from what's going on
and do some learning and some videos and some training and advancing my skills.
Well, you do have a load of new interns under you there in CT. How are they getting on? Like, I know I have to catch up with John and the interns, but
yeah, no, they're great.
Busy.
So half of them are with NEP Ireland at the moment, doing a lot of live rugby and soccer and stuff like that. So, and then the other bit are in with us working really hard on a lot of live projects at the moment and some of the installation projects that we're working on as well. So they're getting to see all parts of it. So it's still early. They're only about a month in now at this point. So
do you see a big push now in a month's time when, well, not even a month's time, a couple of weeks' time, when all the COVID restrictions are lifted, that CT will be asked for a lot of more live events?
Yeah, I think business is already probably going to start picking up for not for all industries, because like even things like theatre is starting to open up again. I see loads of shows from the Board Gosh in Dublin here, and so people who are kind of freelance all of a sudden are being kind of grabbed for big long production shows and stuff like that, and in theatres. So theatre, concerts, nightclubs are going to start opening up shortly. So we're going to start to see a bit more. I know that doesn't affect us in events, but I think in general there's things are starting to open up. So I think business is going to pick up, but I think it's going to be a hybrid. I think there's going to be a lot more. We want you to support us and stream.
It's going to be more hybrid events. Like, look, let's take, for example, Gareth Brooks wants to come over to Croke Park now in the summer of next year, and he wants to do his 5 things. I'd say, whoa, is this history repeating itself? But why wouldn't they try and why isn't a big TV company jumping on board and going, hold on, we could stream this, we could charge people to watch this online, you know?
Yeah, and stream it, or what they're on is theaters. Like there was a lot of free theater being done where they would go through the whole show with no audience, and you paid to watch it, and it's cheaper than the in-person tickets. I'd be like going, why wouldn't theaters offer this as a permanent thing going forward? That yes, okay, there's a show on in the West End in London. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to afford to go to the West End in London to watch this show or whatever, but I would happily sit at home with my family watching a kids play of some sort and happily pay the price of a ticket, a day pass, and watch the show. I think there's definitely a revenue stream.
I think there's definitely not just the live events like that, but if you talk about trade shows, like if you talk about Infocom, and you know that like the trainers are there and so forth that are going to be giving the likes of CTS Prep and CTSI and stuff like that, why can't that be done as a hybrid model? That someone could dial in and
pay for
the course, and
pay for. People are willing to pay for those really good courses.
Well, I know like universities are still holding back from both faculty and admin staff and even support staff traveling yet. I don't know when it's supposed to be lifted, but yeah, it's and that's where I believe a lot of management, both public and private, will still go, do you actually physically need to be there, or are they offering a hybrid approach? If they're offering a hybrid approach, you can join it that way.
But it sounds like, because like even things like meeting room installations now, it's all hybrid. It's about having the same experience as if you're in the room or at home. That there's no difference. Yeah. So I'm starting, like, I think hybrid is going to be the word. I think we're just going to be just.
I think that is going to be the buzzword. Like people talk about Zoom, people talking about Teams, but hybrid is going to be the word for next year. Simon, I'm going to leave it there. If you want to get in contact with the program, it's allthingstech.ie, at Simon Lang AAB, with hashtag ABTechJunkies, where we actually had more tweets on our Twitter feed than Chris Nisho in a short while ago. Now he gets more impressions, that's the only thing, but we had more tweets in 1 week than Chris Nisho, which I just found that was a bit bizarre. I couldn't understand that fully. I think a lot of AV tweets will debate that actual stat, and fair play to them. I think they deserve to debate it because we didn't put that much effort into doing that. Get in contact with us that way. You can also visit our website where we have show notes and episodes of the past. Don't forget, on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, to like, comment, subscribe, press that subscribe button, and you'll be notified of any new shows.